About the shaking of high-rising to discussions on preparedness. Clearly, it's very clear that the netizens are left in shock, but now we are tracking another breaking input this time. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also taken to the microblogging website X and tweeted, "Tremors were felt in Delhi and nearby areas, urging everyone to stay calm and follow safety precautions, staying alert for possible aftershocks." Authorities are keeping a close watch on the entire situation. These are the latest inputs that we are tracking from the ground. And joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Payal Mehta for a better perspective into the entire situation. A very good morning, Payal. Payal, take us through all the details and especially how PM Modi is also urging people to remain aware and stay safe.
Like you've seen the tweets that are coming in from various politicians. You saw Giriraj Singh first thing in the morning saying that, this felt like an uneasy calm, that existed at about 5:36 a.m. in the morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urging the Delhi citizens to, stay alert and, to probably even brace up for aftershocks which may happen. And really saying, essentially giving them a lot of comfort by saying the authorities are keeping a watch on the situation. There is no need for anybody to, spread panic. Everybody should just stay calm. That's the message coming in from the Prime Minister, who's also been here in the national capital. And of course, earlier also you saw Delhi police also appealing to people saying that there is no need for anybody to panic. If there is any SOS, if there is any requirement for any essential services, they can reach out to the helpline number as well. So obviously, a lot of us, woke up or probably were awake, meeting this rude shock that we saw in Delhi. There was actually a real roar that you could feel beneath the ground.
Indeed.
Apart from, of course, one's bed and probably sofa, wherever you were sitting, really shaking. Multiple people even waking up to this earthquake in the morning, 5:36 a.m. It went on for a good 6 to 8 seconds and probably a very, very strong earthquake. And, you can see social media full of the posts by people, essentially talking about his or her experience in terms of what they really felt, during these moments.
Right, Pal, thank you so much for bringing in all those details. Well, as the city grapples with the shock, political figures and experts are calling out for immediate assessment of the entire situation and emergency response protocols. We'll keep you updated on these reactions and as the story unfolds. Now, as Payal continues to stay with us on the broadcast, let's try and understand from her. Payal, help us understand how well is the city and the nation actually prepared for such kind of instances in the future?
Well, of course, there are various departments that are in place. And like I said, that you're getting a message from the highest authority in the government, essentially the Prime Minister, in fact, asking everybody to keep calm, not to panic, because, it's going to be important, to make sure that if there are any aftershocks, because often we've seen aftershocks happen once you get an earthquake of this magnitude. And he assures the Delhiites that the authorities are well prepared to take care of the situation. And of course, we've seen these things happen in the past. The Prime Minister, we don't want to talk about and preempt things as of now, but the Prime Minister has a record of basically handling calamities associated with the earthquake. So you remember the 2000 earthquake in Gujarat, which actually shook the state, is where the Prime Minister, in fact, was the Chief Minister, and he knows how to, handle that situation. So the authorities who are basically in charge, of providing essential services, the Delhi Police, the Delhi Fire Services, all of them have been on standby, and that's the assurance coming in from the Prime Minister himself.
Right. Payal, help us also understand this earthquake was felt in high-rise buildings and residential areas alike. Were you also equally concerned about the safety of the structure that you were in during the tremors?
I was awake and I was just probably watching something on my phone in the morning. Strangely, I woke up at this hour and I could feel, tremors. I could feel my entire sofa shaking for the first few seconds. But I could also feel a roar beneath the ground, which is very, very strange. And that is when, multiple people, of course, started putting that out on social media. Our own society groups also are, were putting out messages on social media and on WhatsApp, essentially checking for everybody's safety. So obviously, high-rise buildings also would have felt the tremors. And that's why, you've seen these visuals coming out of multiple people, walking down straight to the ground floor. Because essentially, the first thing that people have learned and known how to do is that in an earthquake, or want to feel tremors, the best thing is to just step out of the house and come out in the open, to protect yourself, especially in the case of high-rises as well. But, thankfully, there's been no, information which has come out of anybody, falling, prey to any sort of calamity of sorts with this earthquake. And as of now, it feels calm. But like I said, the Prime Minister, in fact, telling and asking people to be prepared for any aftershocks, and essentially also saying that yes, the authorities are keeping watch on the situation. It is important for everybody to, in fact, stay calm, stay well prepared, and also make sure that the elderly and children are prepared best, to deal with any such aftershocks if it should come. And panic will not help. So, one has to keep a cool and calm head and follow the safety precautions.
Right, Payal, thank you so much for bringing all those details. Well, joining us on the broadcast is Dr. Saumitra Mukherjee, Professor, former and Dean of School of Environmental Sciences of JNU. A very good morning, Mr. Mukherjee. Well, help us understand. For those who live near Delhi's major fault lines, how do you assess the risks now? Because this was a very massive jolt that the netizens of the National Capital Region felt this morning.
Yeah, this is a 4.0 Richter scale earthquake.
Indeed.
However, the jolt was very heavy because it was very shallow. Its focus was not more than 5 kilometers below the surface of the earth. So the thing is that there are different types of earthquakes in which the Delhi is experiencing. Even in 1960, there was a earthquake of 6.0 Richter scale, and its epicenter was in Karol Bagh. So the thing is that we cannot stop this movement of the subsurface strata or the rocks. But the thing is that above the surface, that the buildings are there, so we can look the safety of the building as well as the retrofitting if the old building is there, and seismic information on a very high resolution by using very high resolution satellite data can be used, because there are some before the micro tremor, the earth is giving some signals, and that signals is all of a sudden in some places the water level is going down. Then that may be a signal of the precursor of the earthquake. If the vegetations are dry, if the natural vegetations are drying, that may be a precursor of the earthquake. So all these things we need to map by using a very high resolution satellite data, because all the time that all the areas are not exposed, because there are buildings, but there are some precursors which can give us some information before the earthquake. If we are able to know that some area is earthquake prone, then we can take a precautionary measure, and the building and the life can be saved.
Right, Dr. Mukherjee, did you yourself feel the jolt, and this earthquake was really strong enough to wake us all up? So are you actually?
I felt it. I felt it. Just I used to wake up early in the morning. So at before the earthquake, I was feeling some sound. So right now I'm in Greater Noida. My office is here only in the new Earth and Environmental Research we have developed. So we are also working in this field for several decades. And in Delhi, when I was living in Jawaharlal Nehru University, that time also I felt a few earthquakes, but this time also I felt this earthquake. But the thing is that I felt I heard some sound also.
Indeed. Dr. Mukherjee, this is a constant thing that we've been tracking from the ground from the last few minutes. On the ground reports and all the correspondents connecting with us, everybody has been interestingly pointing out at this rumbling sound that was followed by the tremors. So are you also concerned about the possibility of stronger earthquakes in the future? And how do you explain this sound?
You see that this sound is due to the rocks which are separated one from another, because there is a stress was developed for a long time, and now the stress is released due to the rock is broken up, and when the rock is broken up, then since this is a very shallow focus earthquake, so I don't think there will be in near future there will be a bigger earthquake. So that is there. But if it would have been a very deep focus earthquake,